Welcome back, students. I'm going to go over unit lesson 3. This is the persuasive speech assignment. I clicked on modules and I then clicked on unit 3, student notes, PowerPoint resources. It's so important for you to make sure that you are viewing these resources because I do provide them for you to make the assignment more able to understand it, easy to understand. So make sure that you're taking advantage of these resources that I have provided for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Unit 3, Student Notes, PowerPoint Resources. It's a lot of good information here. You have your notes, and this unit only covers one chapter, which is chapter 17. Please make sure that you have read your chapter. Chapter 17, it's important before you even begin working on your assignment. So here are your notes. This is your PowerPoint. And, excuse me, this is a student example of the Monroe's Motivated Sequence outline. For the persuasive speech, you are required to complete an outline, and the outline is the pattern that you're going to be using is the Monroe's Motivated Sequence pattern. This is the speech delivery method that it is the same document that you read for your informative speech. Again, reread it again if you need to. This person, Dr. Lyon, he does such an excellent job in conveying what is the Monroe's Motivated Sequence pattern. He goes over the 5 steps with examples. And this is just showing you how to upload your speech on YouTube. You should know that already because you've done it for your self-introduction speech and your informative speech. So, but let me go ahead and I'll come back to this page. What I want to do right now is go over the persuasive speech assignment instructions. So let me go ahead and click on next. That's your discussion board, your quiz. So here we are, the persuasive speech assignment. You should have read chapter 17, persuasive speech. The speech time frame is 4 to 6 minutes. Please remember, do not speak less than 4 minutes and do not speak no more than 6 minutes. You have to stay within the time frame. Points are taken off if you do not follow the speech time frame. So what is a persuasive speech? The persuasive speech is to influence, change an attitude, belief, or to reinforce. You want to persuade the audience to take a favorable action, create an awareness, show the importance of a problem or issue, convey information, and most importantly, promote a behavioral change. You want to educate your audience about the size and seriousness of a problem and convince them that they can and should make a difference. Please watch the video below. Well, it's not below. I will change that. It is what I just showed you on the resource page. You have that Dr. Lyon going over the Monroe's Motivated Sequence pattern. So make sure you watch that video. It's an excellent video, and it will give you more of an understanding of this method as you work on your outline. You can use note cards, 5 note cards. Just remember, write down keywords, phrases, not the whole speech. Do not read your speech. With these steps complete, you should set aside time to actively practice your speech. Remember, it's important for you to practice and practice and practice so that you can sound conversational and that you can let the audience know that you know your topic well, that you're an expert in that topic. Dress attire should be business casual. You are required to use at least 3 reputable sources and cite those sources on your final outline. Please make sure that is on your final outline. All students are expected to incorporate an extemporaneous type of delivery, just like you did on your informative speech. Do not read your speech. Any speech that is read in its entirety will receive no higher than a 70%, and that's if everything else is accurately done. Please make sure to stand as you present your speech. Do not be far away. Read the speech delivery method file document that I provided for you in this unit. It is the same one in unit lesson 2. I go over tips on how to, ways to record your speech. I go in depth, detail that make sure the room is lighted, that there's no noise in the background. Make sure that you maintain eye contact. That is so important. That is so critical in public speaking. Whatever recording device you're using, make sure that you have positioned that device in a way that you're staring straight at it. Some speeches that I've heard, I see the presenter, their eye contact is looking towards the left, towards the right, never looking straight ahead. So they're never really looking at the audience. Make sure that before you submit your video, that you view it, have someone else view it, and have them critique it before you actually submit your final video. Please do not edit your speech. It needs to be continuous, as if you were presenting your speech in a classroom. As I said, for the outline, you're going to be using the Monroe's Motivated Sequence outline method. This is the pattern for the persuasive speech, Monroe's Motivated Sequence. And you're supposed to incorporate ethos, pathos, and logos. In a persuasive speech, these are the three rhetoric for persuasive speech: ethos, pathos, and logos. If you've read chapter 17, you would know what each one means. So let's go ahead. The Monroe's Motivated Sequence has 5 steps. Again, make sure that you watch that video of Dr. Lyon that I provided in the resources student notes. The first step is the attention. How will you get your audience to stop and listen? So remember, do not begin your speech with, "Hello, my name is Carolina Saleh. I'm going to persuade you on whatever." Please do not begin that way. There are various ways that you can begin, and you should have learned that in unit lesson 2. So the next step for the Monroe's Motivated Sequence pattern is the need problem. In this step, you convince your audience that your cause is a problem that needs to be solved. Remember, you must make it relevant. You have to get your audience emotionally invested in the problem, or they will not feel responsible for the solution. During this step, you will give them the research you gathered on the problem. Use ethos, pathos, and logos to make them care about it. So ethos has to do with what? The ethics. That's where your research comes in. Make it credible. Pathos is the emotion, the emotional appeal, and logos is the logic, the words that your argument that you're going to be presenting. So make sure you incorporate ethos, pathos, and logos in your persuasive speech. The third step is the satisfaction solution. Introduce your solution. This is where you are going to convey to the audience. You have already spoken to them about the problem, the need. Now this step is you're going to convey, "I've got a solution to this problem." And you're going to convey that information very simple, easy to understand. This is the main part of your presentation. So in this step, it should be detailed. Not one sentence, not one, you need to be letting your audience know what can they do with this problem. What steps are you going to provide to them? So when you end your speech, They know what they need to do to act on the problem. So make sure that this is conveyed very simple, very easy to understand. And this should be the main part of your presentation. Visualization, which is the fourth step. This is where you help the audience visualize the difference that your solution would look like. Describe to the audience what it would look like if nothing is done. Be specific. Use positive or negative appeals. How will life be different if nothing is done? How will life be if something is done? What does this look like? So please make sure that you convey that information to the audience. And your last step, call to action. Each step is very important. And usually in a presentation, usually the audience remembers what you said in the beginning and at the end. So this is your final opportunity, your last chance of getting that message across. So in the call to action, how will you convince your audience to act now? Give them a specific call to action. What can they do now or in the near future to help? Make sure you give contact information when relevant and strong. So make sure that you give them a simple, specific task they can do to begin making that change. Again, make sure that each of these steps are in detail when you do your outline. And I'll go over the outline in a little while. Again, it is 4 to 6 minutes. Remember, cite your sources. You're required 3 sources. Again, whether APA or MLA format you use, as long as you cite your sources. I need to change that. We used to use Blackboard. We use Canvas now, so I'll update that. So you're required to submit the Monroe's Motivated Sequence outline through Canvas, and I will show you how to do that. It's the same way how you did your outline for your informative speech. PowerPoint, again, is 5 to 7 slides. Remember, do not make the PowerPoint too cluttered. I do have a PowerPoint student example that you can view on the resources student notes module, and delivery is YouTube. Read through the speech delivery method. You find that in the student resources module where your notes and PowerPoint chapter are located. So let me go to the next one. Well, let me go back here. I'm sorry. Let's go back here. Previous. So when you have your video already completed, your final video, you're happy with it, you had someone else look at it, and it looks good, you're going to go ahead and you click on Start Assignment, and you will paste the YouTube link. I'm sorry. You would paste the YouTube link right here in this box right after the website URL, and then click on Submit. Simple. So here you have the persuasive outline. These 2 documents are also in the resources where the student notes are. So I also attached it here. So let me go ahead, and I do have, when you click on the student example one, please view that before you begin your outline. Okay, hold on. So this is the outline template. I'll go back to click on the student example one. I thought I had clicked on that one, but this is what the outline template looks like. You're going to go ahead and type it. It is a Word document, so you're going to type in your name. just like I'm doing right now. You're going to type in the topic, whatever topic you are choosing. The general purpose this time is to persuade. Just 2 words are required in this area. And again, I don't like this boldface. Specific purpose, again, it's you could begin with, after listening to my speech, and then you state what is the goal that you want your audience to receive, that you want your audience to, as you're presenting your speech, what's the goal of your speech. So in this specific purpose is to, after listening to my speech, I'm wanting to persuade my audience to whatever your topic is, whatever you want them to act on. And then the thesis statement is very important. This is where you're going to, this is the sentence in which your whole presentation is all about. Include the problem here. And I'll show you what I mean in the student example 1. Here's the attention getter. Grab your audience attention that is related to the topic. Again, when you are, I just have this for you as your instructions. But what you're going to do, you're going to delete my instructions and type in your own information. So you do that for each one. And then at the end, remember, you cite your references here. And again, either APA or MLA format. So make sure that you have your sources on the outline. So let me go ahead. And I believe it's this one. This is the student example 1. So here we have a student that did their persuasive speech on, their topic was nature-friendly alternatives to fast fashion. General purpose is to persuade. Specific purpose to have audience replace fast fashion with nature-friendly alternatives. So this was the goal of this presenter, to convey to the audience to replace fast fashion with nature-friendly alternatives. Their thesis statement was the earth is endangered by fast fashion through land, air, and water pollution. So these are the problems that fast fashion, when we buy fast fashion, it affects land, it affects air, and it affects water pollution. But together we can save the planet by adopting nature-friendly alternatives. So this student right here gave an excellent attention getter. Again, the student practiced and practiced and practiced. They did not read their speech, and they were able to get the audience attention from the very beginning. As you know from unit lesson 2, it talks about ways that you can begin an attention getter. You can start out with a fact, a startling fact, and here this student started out with a number, a huge number that caught the audience attention. So step 2 is the need problem step. So I did read to you the thesis statement. These were the problems of fast fashion. What happens when we buy land, air, and water? So what they did on the need problem step, they talked about those 3 problems: land pollution, air pollution, and water pollution. So these problems were in the thesis statement. That is what you're going to do. So that's why it's important. View this sample outline. I have it there for a purpose. Step 3, satisfaction solution step. The student is telling us, hey, you don't have to buy fast fashion. These are friendly alternatives to fast fashion. They talked about it in detail. Thrifting, borrowing. So this is their solution. Now in the outline, This is what I want in detail. So please do not write a 1-2 sentence outline as far as on the solution step. I'm sorry. It needs to be in detail, just like each steps that you see here is in detail. That's what it needs to look like. And of course, your speech is 4 to 6 minutes, so you may have to cut some things, as you're presenting. But as far as the outline, it needs to be in detail. So these are the alternative to fast fashion that the student provided. And then, this is so sensitive, this mouse. This is the action step. Again, sorry about that. The visualization step. This is a student conveying to the audience, imagine, visualize, if you don't do anything, this is what's going to happen. And if you do something, this is what the world will look like. So here is the visualization step. And the last step, step 5, action. Again, convey to the audience something simple, easy task that they can do. So right after your speech, you want the audience to remember your speech. So one way is to leave them with something simple, easy task that they can do to begin that action. And then you see that the student included their sources they use. At least 3 sources. The student used more, that's fine, but at least 3 sources. Let's see here. Let me go back to here. Okay, so there you go. So again, this is a student example that I just went over, and this is the outline template that you're going to be including your information. So make sure that, when you have these, open up both of them and have it side by side so that you can see this student example and be that and have that as your guide. And as you know how you would submit, click on Start Assignment, click on Upload File. You've saved your outline, your final outline on a flash drive or your desktop, and then attach it and then submit. Basically, that's it, just like you did for your informative. And your PowerPoint, click on Start Assignment, Upload File, attach it, and submit. So let me go back to modules. Let me go back here. To the resources. Make sure that you view this video. Again, I can't stress this enough. He does such an excellent job in going over each step of the Monroe's motivated sequence, and he gives you examples. I have here the student the student example of the Monroe's motivated sequence outline, the speech delivery method. I also have a PowerPoint going over the Monroe's motivated sequence if you want to take a look at that. I do have a student PowerPoint example for persuasive speech. So if I want to click on that, student did their persuasive speech on littering, and it did a nice job. The format is not too cluttered. It's not too cluttered. They have images and text so that the audience can see and make the help them understand the presentation better. Nice color contrast. Make sure, I know there's a chapter, it was in the last unit about PowerPoint making sure that the colors and there's contrast on your colors and the background. So this is what the PowerPoint example is. So there you go. So please make sure, look at all the resources that I provided for you, and they're there to help you do well in this assignment. I look forward to your presentation. Thank you.